गणपतये नमः। ॐ गणपतये नमः। वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ॐ गणपतये नमः।
Jayadhari Ma, I welcome our audience. Sir, very, very welcome. Satish sir, thank you so much. आप हमें ये समय दे रहे हैं. Very, a lot of gratitude to you, sir. Ajay sir, very welcome. Praveen sir, very welcome. Mami, a lot of gratitude to you. हम अपने बच्चों के साथ हर पल नहीं हो सकते. इमोशनली हम अपने बच्चों के साथ हर पल हो सकते हैं और एक काम और कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि आज मीडिया के बारे में चर्चा होगी. We can help them strengthen their power of choice. Help them build a very well-balanced power of choice. मम्मी आप आए, आप सर को प्रोग्राम के बारे में बताइए जी. We start the program.
No, thank you, Ajay, for introducing us to Satish ji. Very, very grateful. Thank you, Ajay.
Thank you.
We know there's a lot of value addition in having our Director General Doordarshan with us, Prasar Bharati. It's a first time I think we're going to have such top level service person in service of the government of India as part of the parenting program today. And that's very good. So, Ajay, would you like to tell us what made you bring Mr. Satish Namboodiripad on this program? Because I believe you have a reason.
Yeah, actually, ma'am, no, we know each other. Satish ji and me are connected for some time now. And I met him last month, I think, in Delhi. We reconnected. He's an ardent fan of Hindustani classical music. He's a great parent. And, when I also communicated about mindful parenting and our monthly discussions online, he himself was kind enough to accept my invitation to join us. And maybe who knows, one day he will also show interest to showcase this in Doordarshan as a program. I think that's what is the most required thing, parenting which is today taken very lightly, not just in India, across the globe.
So
Ji.
thank you so much, Mr. Madhupad, that you spared your very valuable time. Doordarshan is the most treasured communication mirror for the rest of the country, and with so many languages all over the country. In fact, it's truly a national network. So here we are. Satishji, tell us about how would you like to feel to talk about parenting in this program? This program is very old. It's pretty old now. It's pretty senior. Many years ago, it started with Dr. Ajay Kumar's book, Mindful Parenting. That's where we all got the tick off and saying, why don't we translate his book into a channel? And that's how parenting channel, this program came about. So that was the trigger, mindful parenting. So back to you, Satishji.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this wonderful invitation. Dr. Ajay Kumar, when he mentioned, I was not very clear as to what is it. Even now, I'm not very clear as to what do you talk about, because regarding the program format, etc., one is only trying to get the whole information, etc. And as far as I am concerned, I know that this has been going on for such a long time. When I was just going through the list of people who I've been totally humbled by even getting an entry to that kind of a huge galaxy of people who had already discussed with it. So, of course, I'm not a psychologist or a teacher or a psychoanalyst or something. So I am not very sure as to what is expected of me, the role of Doordarshan in that, or about a general talk kind of a thing about parenting, the problems. And of course, I'll definitely come to the problem of media. But before that, I would like to, if I have 7 minutes to set the context, the way I look at it, parenting or parents or the whole concept I think, ma'am, you will know that she has been a very senior bureaucrat, etc. In the government, we always say that the three sets of people that we can't choose are the boss, the neighbor, and the parents. It is very often we very often say that, especially in the context of this bosses. But I think nowadays she will also probably agree with me that with the right kind of with the political connection, etc., probably you can choose, or you can decide change your bosses. And if you have a lot of money, probably you can change the locality, your neighbors also, by frequently changing the locality. But as far as parents are concerned, let us be very clear that this is a non-negotiable or not changeable kind of a set of entity. The statement also, I would like to look at it in 2-3 levels. The statement that parents cannot be changed or chosen. Especially the word, I would like to give importance to the word chosen. I think it has got much deeper meaning. First is a very literal kind of a meaning, which says that you can't choose them. Means that there are things which are not in your hands. That is the first and foremost thing. You have to take it the way it has been given to you. Secondly, probably, especially in the Indian context, the theory of karma, theory of destiny, etc., coming, and of course, probably an American citizen, US, or a person in Finland, somebody in Finland, or even in Africa, may not agree with this theory of karma and destiny theory, etc. I also personally feel that the Vedas probably didn't talk about this. It is only from the Gita time onwards it went into our Indian larger spirituality, became more of a religiosity kind of a thing. Anyway, that is another topic of discussion at all. The spirituality becoming slightly religiosity kind of a thing. That is the second. But what is most important for today's discussion, the context of the discussion of the day is that parents decide the most important or substantive of our identities. That is the most important identity which is inherited. Ma'am, you'll know that there are two kinds of identity. One is the inherited, the sanchitam, and the arjitam, which is the acquired kind of a thing. As far as the inherited identity is concerned, family is the fulcrum on which entire identity stands. Then it goes to, in any context, the caste or creed or class and whatever in the foreign, the mohalla concept, where, and whether you're on the Potter Street or you're from the Vanik Street, language, very important. And then comes to nationality, statehood, the fights between the states, etc. All of them are connected to the one entity called parents, or the birth. I would like to call it an accident of birth. It is a most decisive factor also as far as our identity is concerned. Everything else depends on that. And then if this is the inherited, then acquired, of course, is your studies, your arjitam, the education. Which college did you go to? What is the job? The IAS versus IPS, that kind of a thing, and college. And then as a migrant Malayali being in Delhi, that is again, a Delite Malayali or a Indian in US. So whatever, all these engineers versus doctors, etc. They're all, you can call them under the acquired identity of a people also. But let us understand that why it is important from the parenting segment is that if you look at, ma'am, that the world over, all the fights, all the major wars, all your outlooks, they are all decided on which the human beings, the human race fight with each other. They're all born out of this issue of accident of birth. There had never been a 1,000-year-old war between an IPS and an IAS officer. Of course, there are some small internecine fights, you all know it. But it is, or an advocate versus a lawyer. Whereas it is not the case with a Christian and the Muslims. And another issue is that it is this inherent thing, this inherent or inherited identity, which only very few people are in a position to outgrow also. There are people who have been able to. But ultimately, a Goan Christian remains a Goan Christian, throughout us, or a Bihari Kayastha, or a Malayali Brahmin, or Malayali Muslim, or anything, So why is it very important from the perspective of parenting is that the concept of accident of birth, and the other one, I call it the attribute of time. You have been a police officer, you have been the first IPS officer, and I happen to be. These are all attributes of time. It is only very, 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 very limited in time. And in a larger perspective, if both these things a human being has the larger understanding that, look, we are fighting on issues which are entirely born out of an accident of birth, and then all your egos are on an attributes of time. I think this world will be different. I think this is the most important issue of parenting. I consider.
Yeah. Let me allow me to go to your.
I'm through with my first portion. That is.
That's right. Allow me to come to your core value, core strength, which is very rare for the Indian viewer now to have Director General Doordarshan on this YouTube channel to share with us the role of the media and the television in parenting. Are you focusing on these programs? Do you have an eye on them? Or in the future, would you like to consider how do we evolve this kind of program on our Doordarshan? Because yours is a very large reach, all languages, and particularly in the rural areas, parents would benefit को अपने बच्चों को कैसे संभालें, बड़े हो रहे हैं, पुराने जमाने के थे, अब नया जमाना है. So can Doordarshan play a wonderful role? So the kind of role now Doordarshan can play with your leadership in place.
Taken, ma'am. It is fine. As far as, let us understand Doordarshan the way it is. It was Why? I mean, the entire generation grew up on Doordarshan because it was, I mean, it is considered the Desh ka Pehla channel, Desh ka Apna channel kind of a thing. And the world over, these kinds of radios, all India, all India, the radio broadcasting, Doordarshan kind of a broadcasting, etc. These are all, they have all been supported by the governments of the day because they are very, 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 what they call infrastructure or capital intensive kind of an infrastructure. So till from 59, in the 20s, etc., all the radio came into being, the war and the Britishers started because of, and then 59, Doordarshan came into being, and by 60, 65, it started doing the telecast in a major way. It took 5-6 years for it to stabilize. For initially it was, then 72, 70, by 75, it went into larger number of metropolises, etc. 82, you would remember, it became color, Mrs. Gandhi's first independence address, and the 84, her death, if you recall, that is a time when the color television purchase also became, until 92, 93, 94, etc. So nearly 45 years, Doordarshan was the single player in this country. So let us understand that so it's a legacy kind of a thing. And then whenever nowadays people think that, compare and contrast without knowing the fact that, look, that was a time Doordarshan operated in a time when it was entirely exclusive. It was a monopolistic kind of a market. Currently, Doordarshan in India is one of the 916 or 900 plus channels. There are 900 plus channels which have been given the uplinking and downlinking rights by the government, and we are just one of them. There are so many 400 odd news channels and so many other channels, etc. So, but still, as far as the reach is concerned, we are still the biggest, and as you mentioned, in all the region, rural areas, etc. The free dish, which is the free dish or the direct to home DTH channel, we have got something known as 63 million. That is 6.3 million households are there. So our ability to reach across to people is, so there are two things. One is the program generation, content generation may not be, let us understand that government or government institutions may not be the best as far as content generation is concerned. We will not be able to compete with the private sector who can spend a lot of money. And now again, the issues of what kind of a content they are generating, that is an entirely separate discussion altogether. But as far as reaching across to people, we are still the market leader. We are the best. So probably we should think of an area, a combined or combination of approach wherein sensible people generate content and Doordarshan takes it to the people. Because our ability to generate content is difficult. It is somewhat different. Being the government, it is not the core competency. What do you call the creative issues, and government still works on a lot of procedures, money to come, budget. The whole issue. And profit has never been the motive of the government. We are much more process driven, etc. So coming back to your question, you are the saying, if somebody can generate the content which you feel is the right one, we can carry it. We are a very good market leader as a carriage, but I don't know. The content generation, let it be given to some other people. That is how I look at it.
So with all my humility,
Taina, 1 minute. I think one idea which flows from your thinking is demonstrative learning channel, which has got now many years of experience on parenting. How does this channel and the Doordarshan, are there possibilities of a collaboration where we do this program every month? Just as you were identified and searched out by Ajay, can we look at possibilities of collaborating? So while demonstrative learning finds the right kind of speakers for you, and we do a town hall for the listeners, town hall on parenting. I've not seen a program like that, but we do a town hall. Just as you are the speaker today, we identify some of the best speakers on parenting. That's what this program content is about. And all our earlier channels is already in this. So we find the best speaker, and that is how we could put a program, demonstrative learning channel, helps you, works with you, collaborates with you, with Doordarshan to do this town hall. Town hall means we get parents. We get parents from English and all languages, right? Or at least Hindi and English. and we do a parenting program on as a town hall where good practices are shared. So good practices could be shared, that where वो से मेरे प्रॉब्लम आती थी, मैंने बच्चों को दूरदर्शन से कैसे हटाया from too much of screen time. So sharing good practices where it's learning each other. We could probably do a 40-minute program. I think we could think about this, because demonstrative learning's got this experience and expertise, but and that it does its homework in searching the best speaker. Think about it. Can we work this out? Maybe Ajay and Saina and team can work together with you.
We can definitely think of it, ma'am. I mean, it's a very brilliant idea. You know, as I mentioned, content generation, if something can be taken care of by people, I think slowly we'll have to move to that kind of a thing. We'll have to collaborate with people who are on various issues, topics, etc. I personally feel that, you know, as a national channel, you know, our concern should be much more, less on the commercials, etc. There are areas where government should concentrate. You know, one is, I mean, these kinds of, character building kind of a thing. Number two, the preservation of tangible, intangible assets of the country, that is the culture of the country. Number three, the Kisan, the agriculture is a major. We do have a Kisan channel. And number four, recording, archiving of the country's progress from time to time. You know, I mean, we will do the, all the national channel, all the state channels, etc. Whatever is happening in the country, simply record it. Roads are being built, the social transformation, cultural transformation, the transformational issues, urbanization, urbanization, and the underbelly of that. I mean, how policies need to be changed. For example, the parenting issues also, how things, all these things can be the forte of if not anything, at least as recording. Record it, keep it, archive it, so that 10 years from now, when all of us are gone, they will be able to go back to it. It can serve as a Logan's manual kind of a thing, you know. At least people can see it, and there will be some proper. So I think these are areas where the government channels will have to slowly move in. But it is only my personal position, you know, ma'am. The in these kinds of issues, of course, the people at the helm of affairs, at least the leadership is important, but there are larger, the decision making in the government is not limited only at the level of the director general. You know that. Yeah. It goes beyond that level also. Yeah.
Sir, we have recorded episodes of this program. We have about 26 episodes, so we can share them with your team.
Yeah.
Sir, but sensing what you're saying, sir, I have a thought. सर, जैसे खाने में टेस्ट बड्स होते हैं, सबके डेवलप हो गए. These are my taste buds. I am now trying to sense what are the content buds of our youngsters. How we have taste buds, there are content buds. Now I'm wondering, sir, is it the consumer asking for what we are giving them, or what we are giving them is being consumed by them? Where is it? Because the program has to be interesting also. It has to be entertaining. It has to be engaging. Now, how do we balance this, sir? Because you are talking about the right content reaching you. I see that as a concern. I see that as a concern in what the thoughts you're sharing. What do you think, sir?
It's your question is very important. Whether are we giving it to the people the way they want, or what we give people are it is being shared. The people's tastes are being shared by this.
Yeah.
I think it is the larger perspective itself. I think it is a world, at a time, which is deciding things. We also, knowingly or unknowingly, we also get sucked into, consumed by the dictates of the time. Mild changes, slight. I can see the Mr. Praveen Parameshwar. I saw him. He is a life, what do you call it? sorry, now I can't see his designation. These are analysts or life, experts or whatever. I'm sure that he would have, he's a psychologist or psychoanalyst or whatever he studied. I have not studied it. Mine is a very, 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 it's only an observations, and there are no empirical evidences. He'll be in a position to talk. I think the times are much more, the time, the column, as you say, is much more important than the individuals or small. When the whole, see, you have to understand that the genie called knowledge or knowledge transmission had definitely, or information, forget about knowledge, information transmission, which used to be the prerogative of a few, had ceased to be so. Initially, we all did the Vedas and the Shruti, Shruti and Smriti took. That is the case with every, not only Indian, in Latin or in Western, in all it was always a preserve of a few. Then after some time, the paper, that is why it went by the word of mouth. That is why the importance assigned to the words, etc. The world over, man would have created language and the voice, etc. But all the religions attributed to God. We also said Om. Christians also said that in the beginning was sound, etc. So somehow we the world over, human beings, even though human beings have started voice, it is not God who came and told us. Let us be very frank about it. And through some guttural sounds, etc. So, but we attribute it. From that kind of a preserve, then in papyrus, etc. we started writing it on a piece of paper. Then so many years later, in the 14th century, John Gutenberg came with the printing press. It became further. Then again, 600 years, nothing happened. Some typewriter, etc. But in the last 60, 70 years, 4 things happened which totally revolutionized the whole thing. Initially, the computer, then the internet, then the mobile phone and the mobile telephone, the marrying of all these things. Now the content and carriage has become one. Content, that is precisely the importance of this era. The content and carriage has become one, and everybody can, whatever you think, even before you think, you can start talking. So the deconstruction, or I call it de-Brahmanization of knowledge transmission. And that is the terminology I use it, because it used to be not the Brahmin, the Boston Brahmins kind of a thing. It is always a preserve of a few, or democratization of knowledge transmission. With that in this, I think it is no more anybody to decide what is to be given. I don't think this will be foolish on our part to think that. Let me connect it with the whole idea of parenting also. I thought that we'll be discussing something about parenting. See, you have all been parents. I have also been a parent. I've been here. I've all been sibling, and we have all been children as well as parents. Over a period of time. Where is it that if parenting is all so important, all the children would have been good, all the children would have been. Where is a unity, or where is a uniformity? In a family of 5 people, 5 children, 5 of them are different. And can you blame the parents for that? So the diversity is the hallmark of human beings. For that matter, diversity is the hallmark of nature. So if that is the case, and otherwise the two sisters one cannot be a dancer and the other cannot be a singer. Or one can, no matter discipline or even honesty or even, methodical behavior. This is, parents may have it, children may not have it. One child may have, another may not have it. So I don't think it is a question of our giving the right content. It is what all these content are available, and it is the interest of the people. They use it. I'm not prescriptive in this. I cannot be prescriptive in this format. That is how I look at it. That's it.
Yes, sir. We appreciate, sir. Ajay, sir, please, would you share your thoughts, please?
Yeah. Satish ji, of course, it's truly a privilege to have you with us today. Your journey of over 3 decades in public communication, policy, and media governance has deeply impactful. When we speak about mindful parenting today, I feel it's impossible to ignore the influence of media on our children and families. Media, much like parenting, carries an enormous responsibility not just to inform, but to shape thought, behavior, and values. When we look at Doordarshan as a public service broadcaster, it stands apart from private media. While private channels often cater to popular demand and TRP driven content, Doordarshan has historically played a more protective and responsible role, conveying messages, educating citizens, and acting almost like a social CSR initiative. It does not manufacture noise, it communicates meaning. This makes me draw a parallel with parenting. As parents, we constantly struggle with a similar question: do we give children absolute freedom, or do we consciously guide and filter their exposure? From your perspective, how do you see the role of responsible media, balancing freedom of choice with responsibility? And how can parents learn from this approach while guiding their children in today's content saturated world? Over to you.
Extremely important question. I mean, there is no, I'm not prescribing any answers, etc., replies, etc. See, one major problem nowadays is, Doordarshan carries a couple of programs on the cyber issues, cyber crime, cyber world, etc. More than the what do you call linear television, which is satellite televisions, which are large in number, etc. I mentioned about the content and carriage becoming one, the handheld devices. That it is this digital world which is creating much more problems, especially for the youngsters also. It is less on the TV. There may be programs, etc. Even then people can watch, the minute, because it is called appointment viewing. Satellite is all about appointment viewing because it is only a particular time that if there is a 6 o'clock soap opera or a family drama, it can happen only at 6 o'clock, and it cannot. It starts at 6 o'clock. It is over at 6:30 or 7 o'clock or whatever, and then you have to wait till next day 6 o'clock for that thing to reappear. So it is called, that is why it is called an appointment viewing kind of a thing. So that, the family can see it. If somebody is watching it, somebody can go back and stand behind and see whether it is. That is not the case with the digital medium. Digital medium is entirely time agnostic. It is also platform agnostic. You don't need a TV to watch a digital medium. And the problems of this deep web, etc., are very, very prevalent in this digital medium. I think so. What we have to be more concerned about as parents, especially, and such cases are coming up. I've got a friend. I think next time, since this is a major issue, I'll connect you with a person who has been working. His name is Amit Dubey, who is doing a lot of work with police people, etc., on the problems of the web, that is, and the influence that it is having on children also. He was coming and telling us about cases where very senior officers, children, 13-year-old boys, 14-year-old kids, girls, etc., the behavioral problems. 13-year-old, recently there was a case where a very senior officer, I don't want to disclose more details, etc. In a comment, a 13-year-old kid beating his father, who's a very, very, very senior position in one of the, and all because of trying to control the time he's spending on TV, etc. Such cases are coming. There are cases where girls in 60s, Kerala, it had come even in Kerala, etc. In fits of rage, stabbing their mothers with a kitchen knife when she asked them to a mobile phone was pulled away from her house, from her hands or something, or even by stopping the Wi-Fi in the house. So the problem is less of TV, etc., etc. It is entirely of the digital world that one needs to be very concerned, because at a very short, you would have seen, even 2-year-old, 1.5 years old onwards, or 1 year old onwards, that the children are getting exposed to to the phones. The mothers, the first thing that they cry that they hand over is a phone, and the child is happy, and the entire reels are the social medias. I mean, a 1-year-old kid trying to, I mean, you would have seen these kind of thing. I mean, they behave like, I mean, the clicking for a selfie or trying to negotiate a phone, etc., etc. We think that it is a very, very cute thing, and it is a love. I mean, it's a matter to appreciate, etc. But its influence on the human mind. I mean, now there are large number of studies are coming, and there are theories about what is it called, popcorn mindset, etc. These kinds of terminologies are coming up, popcorn brain, etc. I think what we need as a society, we need to understand, as we need to. Now the problem is that it has not even been identified as a problem. Then only we'll be. Now countries have started. There are certain countries which have started making rules that a phone cannot be used, or I mean So I think this is going to be a much, much, much deeper problem from the media perspective than the TV or any other media.
So we feel your concern, sir. We sense it, and I think we're all together in this concern, sir. So I was reading a little article before we come to Praveen, sir. So Harvard has started a human flourishing program where it's like a campaign, sir. Now a big university like Harvard is doing this. They sense the need. Can't media houses collaborate and start a program? Can't they collaborate on this? Because this is for our future generations, sir. Ji, sir.
So we can have Praveen look at anything
Sir,
he wants to.
Praveen ji, you
Yeah,
would like
question. I think the question is addressed to Praveen, and so that is why I
Okay.
didn't. Yeah.
जी
Yeah.
जी जी प्रवीण सर आप बात करें जी जी
Oh, you asked the question to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
जी जी
Okay.
and then
Okay.
we take this.
So I think about the media houses. So I firmly believe, so most of the media houses, especially private media houses, largely work as a commercial entity, and they would be focusing more on things which is increasing their profitability and making some, good change in the balance sheet. So if such kind of programs, so I firmly believe ideally we can talk a lot of other, these kind of aspects, but the channels or the media would be, the private media would be mostly interested only if this kind of programs can be supported by big corporate houses who are having their own interest in this topic. And once they come in their own interest, so they would be having their own interest to support as well. So I think it's a tricky situation, but I think whether it should happen, yes, it should happen. Whether can we expect it to happen, I think we wish it should be there, but how far it is possible, I think there should be some brands who are super interested in coming up with these kind of things. Then naturally there is of course an interest clash between that. But Doordarshan may be in a better position than a private brand to take that up, being a very responsible organization and a nation network as well. So private channels, I do doubt how possible they are to consistently do something which may not feed them with profitability in a very regular way. That's my take on that, Sanyaman.
जी जी sir, would you like to share your more thoughts with
I
Satish, sir?
see. I think no. I mean, what Mr. Praveen Parveshan mentioned may be true. There is commercial angle as far as the corporate houses. I mean, profit motives. I mean, both the what do you call private media and corporate houses, etc. Are concerned. But I think this proliferation of digital media tools and gaming apps and the kind of effects that is bringing in the entire life, social fabrics and family, etc. I think soon, if not very soon, if not it'll become a major issue. So I think when the minute it becomes a major issue, I think all people will have to come together. So they of course they will find some commercial angle to that also, but it is going to to affect the social fabrics in a major way, because the whole thing is because of the family is becoming totally, I mean, nucleus kind of a system. No, I mean, that was not the case. The concept of a larger family, the social security network, and the social security in the by human relationship and people there, chacha nani, I mean, a larger house, or they are not there. Everybody is finding to, and so slowly. No, it otherwise it is fine if this also is taking a toll on the institution. It has started, and the modern, it has started taking a toll on the institution called marriage, what they call marriage, the institution called a family. They are also having but it becomes a problem in the intervening period, when things have totally become, I mean, if the institution called marriage also stops and the family stops, then there'll be I mean, I can't say that the number of progenies will be less, because it is, I mean, you don't need a family to procreate, because even otherwise you can do that, but then the number would be less, definitely, because the network which is required to raise people, even a husband and wife, two people to share the burden in the form of I mean, even as the co-live, I mean, living partners, etc., will be less. So then after some time it'll even out. But that will take a long time, because it is affecting only a certain segment of society. There are large number of societies there also, and the world, I mean, the advanced countries, where the number of, I mean, youngsters versus elderly people are, I mean, their numbers, the demographic changes, it is slowly coming to India also. Here also we may think that we are a highly populous country, but here also our population growth is definitely diminishing. And in the next 30 years time, whatever advantage we are having, it is coming to an end. China is already passing through it. So all these are larger issues, and but the problem would be the intervening period, where these kinds of, the children, the social, I mean, behavioral aspects, it is getting affected. Parents have the bondage within the bond within the family, or not bondage, sorry, the social bonding within the family relationship, etc., getting affected, and people more, I mean, youngsters more and more becoming recluse, etc. So those kinds of issues are major concerns. I mean, one need to address it. First, the country will have to identify that this is a problem. Then only we'll start. Now it has not even been identified as a problem. I think it'll start coming in soon. In the next 1 or 2 years time, people will start writing it, and it is, the government will also identify it as a major problem, and then the measures. But the problem is that by the time a lot of time is already lost. We are always, as a system, we are always reactive. We are never proactive or prospective looking. That is another problem. That's it.
Is the Doordarshan, before we close, because I believe we have to close earlier, for your thing you needed to leave, maybe as a little last question, any message from Doordarshan? Are you strategizing anything? Are you concerned, or any new strategies or programs you have in mind, Mr. Namboodiripad?
Yeah, that's right, ma'am. I mean, this social media, or the new media, or the digital era, and also these kinds of issues. We do have a couple of programs. We are doing it, but connecting it with parenting, etc. It's a new concept. I mean, I should say that I have also not thought of it in a major way, but this session had helped me also to think of it in a much more deeper level. I'll definitely. I mean, I think it's a growing. I mean, it's a matter of great concern. It is a matter of great concern these days. But I'm not concerned. Yeah.
Carry on, sir. Carry on.
No,
Carry
but
on.
what I'm saying is that social parenting as such is less of a problem, in the sense, we are, I mean, we are, but it has to be issue based. It has to be issue based, and generalizing the whole problem, because children need to be, I mean, that I don't know how far. I mean, I have my own. I mean, I have not been properly initiated into this issue. That could be one reason. But otherwise, I think parenting as a general topic should not be our concern. We are slightly becoming over cautious. I don't know. I mean, we can debate on that matter, because we think that the children, I mean, nowadays the parenting, there are concerns. Initially, it was not there, and it has to be much more issue based. It has to be much more issue based, not as, because some of these things, and the concept as a parenting has, as a problem area has also become, as I mentioned, because of the nucleus kind of a thing, and the sense of guilt that these parents are, they think that they are not spending much time with their children, etc., and that emotional void they try to compensate with some kind of a material gifts, and those kinds of issues are all, I think it is they are less important than, and also the feeling that the children nowadays is they are they are less guided than the children of the earlier generation. I don't agree with it. I think we are making it a bit I don't believe in that kind of, and the parenting as nowadays, it is a matter of great concern. You have to do that, and too much of a psychology based parenting concern. I personally, I don't agree with it. If I can be converted, I want to give a small story. That is what I thought. That there is that the Ayurveda and teacher, not Ayurveda, the yoga teachers, etc. The marma is the vital points in body. So somebody who knows all the vital points in body, etc. So they know they can. There are 72 marmas in a body, etc. So somebody he's very good, and he looks at people all only as a marma point. So he saw a cow or something charging at him, and he could not touch it, because every place on that cow is a marmam for him. He touches it, cow will have. So the cow was charging at him, and his friend, he just picked up a stick and gave it a good beating, and cow went away. And he said that how could they beat him exactly at a point where there is no marma? I think this parenting concern is also something like this. We feel that nowadays the parenting is a very major issue, because we have too much of emotionalizing it. I think we do, and I'm born 60 years back. Madam may be slightly older, and we are all of different age group. And and what is the kind of parenting we all had, we know. And it is, and with some changes, and it was not the best in those days. It is not going to be best. I think that kind of a larger understanding, we need not emotionalize it, but issue based, of course, is definitely is. We have to identify digital medias, and because it's all in privacy, and at a very young age, people people who are at a very impressionable age. So it is something like, the way POSCO related issues, or those kinds of, wherever the good touch and bad touch kind of a concept. So similarly, this digital media, and because everybody having a phone, and phone throwing them out into a larger world where, and that access issues, etc. That is a big problem. I don't know whether it is only about parenting or it is a larger issue. That is, we can debate and come to. Thank you, ma'am. But it is great talking to you, and it's
Thank
great.
you for sparing such a valuable
Yes.
hour of yours. Your every
Yes.
minute means a lot. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. A lot of gratitude to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
जी सर, जी सर, जी सर को मीटिंग पे जाना था, तो वो पहले चले गए. We can conclude the program, but एक मन में सर, अजय सर, प्रवीण सर, आपके लिए एक मन में बात आ रही है. Sir, there are certain people who are in position of power to make a difference emotionally. Our children look up to sports people, certain celebrities. उनकी बात को वो समझते हैं, youngsters को समझते हैं. अगर हम various issues पे clips बनाएं, reels बनाएं, well-meaning clips बनाएं, and in a language that our youth can relate to, not in a preaching manner, but real life experiences. There's nothing called overnight success. Skin can be real. You don't have to go the wrong way to develop a healthy body. Talk about skincare and makeup and clothes in a very realistic manner. Talk about the sacredness of family in a very sacred manner. So talk about finances and money in a very realistic manner. People in positions of power make those clips, and those clips go viral. Our children will sit up and listen. So aren't we understanding the responsibility that we all hold towards our future? Aren't we understanding that, sir? Social media is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. Now we have to do a turnaround with that social media. We have to work with social media to actually truly make it social media, sir. It's social media. It's not anti-social media, sir. It is social media. So, what do you think, sir? Praveen, sir, because Lifeology can take this up. Social media is the new language.
I think for Praveen, let me just say a few words.
Ji, sir. Ji, sir.
The problem is between popular choices and right choices. Say, let's take the example of private media. They often reflects what the masses want to consume, right? And popular content thrives because there is a demand for it. But popularity does not always mean what is right, meaningful, or beneficial in the long run. Similarly, in parenting, giving children only what they want without context or guidance may feel very easy in short term, but may not serve their growth in the long term. Mindful parenting is about making conscious choices, not popular ones. Now, coming to Sainaji, what you said about the celebrities. As just as Sadish ji mentioned, we always compare ourselves with our experience with what our children are getting. So for us, what our children are getting in comparison is much better than what we got from our parents. The times were different. So the comparison makes it very difficult for even for the senior celebrities to come. They should feel themselves to volunteer for this, right? I mean, unless and until they feel the need for it, they will not come. Sadish rightly said. I mean, maybe emotionalizing it. So that's not the truth. As you said, it's need of the hour, and the times have changed. Digital advancement has happened. Everything, our children get everything on the tip of their hand. So I think it's the experience making them aware more about what will happen if we don't do it now. I think that is more important. Praveen.
प्रवीण सर, मैं ना पता है किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आपसे बात कर रही हूँ, बिकॉज ये सब अब एलिटिस्ट और अमीर लोगों की प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. जब हम कम्युनिटी में काम करते हैं, जब हम जेल की एनवायरनमेंट में काम करते हैं, द यंग गर्ल्स हु आर इनसाइड 420 में. क्यों? For easy money. And what did they need easy money for? Because the child wanted to look like a certain person who she saw on social media. So it's far away from the real world.
I think a couple of things. It's like, it's in the last week. So Australia come up with a resolution to strictly ban social media for children below the age of 16. So, and because of that, so millions of accounts were closed because children who were below the age of 16 are currently strictly by law restricted and kept out of social media in Australia. So I think certain problems may not be possible to be solved only through campaigns or awareness sessions. It may need regulations also in place. So similarly like that, I think in social media also certain kind of regulations is required. For another example, in Dubai, to create content on very sensitive topics like health, so you need to have certain level of education and you need to have a license to be an influencer in Dubai. So similar like this, so nobody can take everybody cannot take a phone and go to the street and be a health influencer. So similarly, because now we see on the social media a lot of people come up with camouflage as health influencers and promote very wrong content. So I think it's about promotion is important, campaign is important, social involvement is very important. At the same time, it would be very important to come up with very strict regulations as well. So as Satish was rightly mentioning, we are largely a very reactive society. So only like somebody like Makaran Vidya ma'am is very few in the community like proactive officers. So we need more proactive involvement in place. So in terms of regulation to solve this issue. So that's what I think, Sarah ma'am.
No, wonderful, sir. Ami, do we conclude?
Yes,
Oh,
beta,
do you-
please do. I think one idea which is emerging is, Ajay, just check with your friend if he's interested in doing a parenting program on Doordarshan. And I think there's a scope for rural and urban divide, south north divide, children, the way parenting is happening south, parenting in north, parenting in rural areas, parenting in west urban areas. I think maybe an idea which can be the demonstrative learning can partner with them.
Sure. And we can also share with them the content what we already have.
Yes, sir.
Content we can
wanted to
always
have-
share.
Yes.
I think these 2-3 things you can talk to your friend as a follow up to this event.
Yeah.
Ji.
And
Yes.
if they ever wish to do, then this town hall could be good for north south, urban rural, and see the changes in India, within India, what's happening.
Mhm. Okay.
It'll be very interesting. Children from parents from metros, parents from tier 3 cities, parents from rural area. We can have segments, and it'd be great to be asked to finding out what's happening. In fact, you and I don't even know this, but it'll be interesting to know. It's curiosity. So we can do, if he wishes, the demonstrative learning team can help them put together this program. All they have to do is invite the people.
Mhm.
We can do one program for them, invite the people, because over the mobilization उनके लिए easy है.
Yeah.
And then it will be online program.
All right.
जी, sir.
आप देखो पूछ के देखना और कंटेंट तो बता दीजिए अजय कि हम
Yes.
कंटेंट आपको दे सकते हैं.
Okay, ma'am.
ठीक है. All right.
Ji. Ji. We
Thank you so
we
much,
conclude the
Ajay.
program with a prayer. हमारे बच्चे स्वस्थ रहे, हंसते खेलते रहे.
And
Peace and
also
happiness.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year till we meet next year now.
Yeah.
We will
Thank
be
you.
meeting next year.
Thank
Ji.
you. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Ajay.
Thank you, ma'am.
And you,
Happy New Year.
Praveen.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
New Year and Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year. Very Happy New Year. Till we meet
Thank
next
you.
year.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Ajay sir. Thank you, Praveen sir. Ji, mummy. Thank you. Ji, gratitude.
Thank you.
Ji.
Thank
Jai
you.
Hari. Ji.
Jai Ma.